I wanted to make another video about Samurai Jack, though, and what I thought about the fifth season, though, which is overall a good season, though. There were some things that I wasn't really too fond of, though. It was actually nice to see him go back to the past, but there were some things that I thought could be improved. Because in the final ending, though, when we saw Ashi disappear from existence, though, and I know that they were kind of saving it, for last, during the wedding, though, where she disappears, even though technically she should have disappeared immediately after that point. Then you run into the whole paradox thing where if Aku never existed, Ashi would never exist, but if Ashi never existed, Jack wouldn't have gone to the past in the first place, though, so then you have a little paradox right there, and that's why I always like split timelines, kind of like in DBZ, where you don't really change the future, you create a new future at that point, though. But I thought overall it was kind of satisfying, though, in the end, where you saw all of Jack's friends actually helping him, even the Scotsman, even though he had died. It was actually good to see him fight alongside Jack, though, and with all his numerous daughters and everything, though. I mean, it still had a lot of humor, though. I thought the series was going to be, I knew it was going to be darker, though. I knew it was going to be serious, but they did it to a point where it wasn't just only serious stuff, though. They still kept a lot of the good humor, though. Even Aku, he's not voiced by Mako or Mako. I'm not sure how it's pronounced. I always call him Mako, but even though he's not voiced by Mako anymore, he still did a good job on him. Baldwin did pretty good, and he captured the spirit of Aku a lot, though. He got his mannerisms down, though. I mean, his voice isn't as good, though, but it doesn't mean it's bad. It's still pretty good on his own, though. So that was good to see. He wasn't all dark and grim and serious, too. He was just as funny and silly as ever, though. So that was nice that they kept that. And there was a lot of good action on it there too, but I always thought there was a lot of things that were just kind of unnecessary, though, like with the whole 50-year time gap. You didn't really have to go 50 years in the future, though. I thought the whole thing was kind of unnecessary because he loses his sword only to get it back, though. I mean, I thought, what was the point of him even losing it, though, just so he can get it back? And I mean, and there's a whole inner Jack, or Mad Jack, as some people call him. Messing around with Samurai Jack, though, and he's already beaten him before. We already saw Samurai Jack beat Mad Jack before, though, but here he's still having some problems against him. So if he defeated him the first time, you think, he wouldn't have, stuck around with Jack all those years. But I like the fact that the conflict is kind of interesting, but I also thought it was just kind of unnecessary, and him just kind of going around and trying to defeat all these robots and everything. I mean, that was kind of cool and everything, but I thought there were some things that were missing, because when the last time portal was destroyed, Jack, gets angry and tries to, attack Aku, and then he loses his sword and everything. And I thought it was kind of weird, though, because later on in the fifth season, though, he had searched in the rubble there, where the Guardian was, where the Guardian's portal was, and basically he almost kind of like seemed, I don't know what's the right word, I guess surprised or just disappointed that the portal was not there, because you saw the little Guardian's glasses, though, which implies that he's killed, though, because he was there and now he's not there anymore. And I would assume that if Aku really did destroy the last time portal, then he must have destroyed the Guardian at some point, because the time portal's not there, the Guardian's glasses are broken and everything, and his body's nowhere to be found. And the Guardian, despite being a better fighter than Jack, really has no way of stopping Aku, though, because he doesn't really have the right tools or the powers to actually stop him, because, as we know, Aku is only harmed by divine stuff. It's really not just a sword. I don't know why people make it sound as if it's only the sword when, Aku's had his ass kicked by other people as well, like the goddess of water and the three elemental servants, those divine beings that were able to stop him too. So it's really just divine stuff in general, though. So I always just thought it was kind of weird, though, because if he really believed Aku that the last time portal was destroyed, why did he even bother searching for the Guardian's portal, though? And why would he even listen to Aku in the first place? For all we know, Aku was just messing around with him, maybe to discourage him from trying to search for any time portals if he told him that the last one was destroyed. And Aku is known for tricking him, so why would he just take his word for it? I don't know. I always thought that was kind of dumb. But one of the things I found strange is that 50 years go by, and then he gets his sword back and everything, which is cool. That was a cool moment. And Ashi, I don't really have a problem with Ashi. I really don't know why people act as if maybe Ashi ruined it, but I actually thought she was an interesting part of the story, though, especially when it turns out that Ashi actually is related to Aku, though. And it's nice to see a character, Jack, had friends and everything, but the idea of romance, never really. He didn't never really seem to be romantically involved in anyone, and that was nice to see, though, to see him actually be romantically involved with someone, especially with all the shit Aku put him through all those years and everything. So, and I know, well, I mean, in the series though, as time progresses, though, everyone else is older. They're all 50 years older. The canines, the monkey man, with all those monkeys. I don't even know how the hell he's still alive, after all those years. But and the Scotsman, who's also a lot older, though. And I always thought it was kind of weird that his sword was broken when Aku killed him, though, especially since that sword was supposed to be on par with Jack's sword. Well, the thing is, I guess it was enchanted but not divine. And we don't know how it got enchanted. We don't know if some person blessed it or cast a spell on it or what. We don't really know too much about it, though. So I always thought it was kind of strange that it was just destroyed with just one blast and everything. I thought that was just kind of dumb too. But seeing Aku and everyone else, I mean, it was great to see all those characters again, especially towards the last battle there. When Aku actually captures Jack and everyone else is helping him. I thought that was cool. But I know that they wanted to do the bittersweet ending. The creator wanted a bittersweet ending. And I always thought it was weird, though, because he didn't really have to go to the past and lose Ashi in order for it to be bittersweet. Whether he stays in the future or goes back into the past, it's still going to be bittersweet anyway. And I want to explain that, though, and I always thought it was weird, though, because not only is it strange that Ashi disappears, I don't know if it's days or months later. We don't know exactly how long it takes, though, for them to get married and everything. But she doesn't disappear immediately, which you think she would. But on this one right here, I always thought it was strange that when Jack goes to fight Aku, which people thought was anticlimactic, and yes, it was anticlimactic, but at least it made sense because Jack has 50 years of experience and he's fighting a weakened Aku. He just got his ass kicked by the Jack from the past, so of course he's not going to really put up much of a fight, though. So it's understandable why he lost so easily. But the idea that Ashi disappearing never really occurred to Jack, though. It never occurred to him that if Aku is destroyed, the future will be gone. But it never occurred to him that Ashi would disappear, though. It doesn't even occur to Ashi either, though. It's like there's no... he doesn't have some sort of internal conflict, like does he have to, he has to destroy Aku, but he'll lose Ashi. That would have been kind of interesting as well, but... No, the thought never occurred to him, and it never occurred to Ashi either, though, until Ashi falls down and disappears. I don't know. I thought it was kind of strange. But it actually, I think it would have made a lot more sense. I think it would have been better overall if he stayed in the future. Like, if there was really no way he can actually go back to the past, it'll still be bittersweet because even though if he defeats Aku, and that would have been great if there was some sort of final anticlimactic battle against Aku in the future. If he actually he can destroy Aku, and even though he has no way of getting back to his home and undoing the future and seeing his family and friends, in the past again, he can at least build a new future. Even though he can't change it, he can actually, create a new future, though, with Ashi by his side, and all of his friends could have helped him. You didn't even have to have 50 years go by. You could have just had it take place within the same time frame. That way we could have actually seen the Scotsman actually fight, and the samurai and everyone else would be in their prime and everything. I thought that would have been better, too. So... on this one right here, I think it would have been better if he stayed in the future than help create a new future and destroy any kind of remnants of Aku worshippers. And then he would look like King Jack over the years though, destroying remnants, just like in the Guardian's vision, and he would rule alongside Ashi since he destroyed a galactic threat on that one too. So of course he would be widely adored, from planets everywhere. So it's understandable that he would be a king and everything. So I think that would have been better though if he actually stayed in the future though. I know some people want him to change the future and everything though, and in some ways it's good, but I don't know. That's just me. I mean, I still like the series though. I'll always like it. It's one of my all-time favorite cartoon shows though, and the fifth season had a lot to offer though. There was just a few things that just kind of bothered me, and there's always going to be some things that are kind of inconsistent though, but that's just what I thought about it.